What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Back again, 24 hours until Arsenal play against Aston Villa. A big game. Can we continue to stay top of the league? And also 48 hours until the transfer window closes. And we knew Arsenal needed players, but they need players even more now. We'll discuss it in today's show. Why? Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course the link is in the description below. If you are willing to vote for the Football Content Awards, we're going for Best Premier League Club Creator, Best Content Creator, and Best in Video. Let's go into Granit Xhaka mode, people. Slow it down a little bit, and let's get into today's show. We got waffle settings today from Mikel Arteta. And don't forget, Talk is Cheap is out today on AFTV. We recorded that earlier, so apologies for these later streams. Some of you may even prefer it, but at the moment, the schedule's a little bit all over the place with, you know, running around doing shows. It is the 6 weeks holidays here at the moment as well, people. So, hey, it is what it is. But listen, lots going off. Well, lots going off, but not really lots going off, if you know what I mean. We're being linked with players, but they're not the ones that would necessarily excite you too much. Super Kev giving Simon Jordan from TalkSport all the smoke. I haven't even heard that. I'm going to have to get into that. Oz says, big up Curtis, chat to Edu to sort out these transfers. How Beast, Big C, help. Liverpool are playing games on this TK Maxx business. Well, it's crazy, isn't it? Liverpool are a bit similar to Arsenal sometimes, where, you know, similar owners don't really like to spend unless they're making money as well. It's difficult. We'll have to see. Now, I didn't even go Carnival yesterday. I can't lie, Shaq. I didn't even go, man. It was so busy, and I had loads to do, man. I just left it. I can't lie. But listen, big up to everyone in the chat. 1,000 of you here already. Which categories? Best Premier League Club Content Creator, Best in Video, and Best Content Creator. 3 categories. Get voting if you don't mind, people. It would be much appreciated. Right, and by the way, Scott Parker has left, so the beautiful cardigan is gone. All of that talk of how well he dresses from Mikel Arteta could not save him from the sack, losing 9-0, and then basically calling out your chairman for not spending enough money is never really going to help you. So Scott Parker's been sacked. But I'm sure a couple of £1 million will you know, help him cool off anyway. Yeah, the hoodie's on. It's a little bit cold here today, people. All the sunshine has disappeared. It's windy and a little bit cold. Best shirt ripper. Hey, the less of that we talk about, the better, Alexander. Big up, everyone. Big up the C-Unit business, C-Unit gang, everyone on Twitch and everyone on YouTube. Right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Arsenal. Let's look ahead to the game. We play against Aston Villa in a must-win game. And listen, Mikel Arteta has been talking. Waffle settings. Let's get into it. We'll then talk transfers afterwards. And obviously, we'll discuss some of the headline news that we have already put in there. So, Mikel Arteta on the Aston Villa challenge, people. So, after watching us battle, Mikel Arteta believes it'll be a similar challenge, blah, blah, blah. Have I clicked the shorter one here? I think I've clicked the wrong one, you know. Let me come back off this. Where is the press conference one? Where are we? Or is that the one? No, that is the one. Maybe it's a short press conference. Oh, yeah. Maybe it is a short one. Happy days. I believe they didn't even... I don't think they asked him many questions. When I saw the transcript, it looked quite short. So, short waffle today. After watching us battle hard to come back and beat Fulham on Saturday, Arteta believes it will be a similar challenge when Arsenal visit Aston Villa. I watched the Premier League. Do you know what? I'm going to skip that. That's not even worth reading. So, no waffle today, people. I'm actually glad. Apparently, it is on YouTube. People saying it was a short... Charles Watt said there was no press conference because of bank holiday. No presser because of the holiday. The interview is from Saturday. There you go. Saved us some waffle, people. I'm actually quite glad there's no press conference. It happens sometimes when there's a quick turnaround from the weekend to midweek, with it being bank holiday. Yeah, the Waffle House is closed, people. Next stop, start trouble inside the Waffle House. No press conference. And personally, I am delighted. Everyone's starving. But yeah, we move, people. We move. I think they would have just done a quick interview after the game then. So, right, forget about it. We'll have a quick chat about the game. And obviously, we play against Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard is having an absolute nightmare at the moment. So, let me bring up the Premier League table. Arsenal riding high, looking down on everybody at the moment. Loving life, top of the league. Aston Villa, wow, 15th in the table. 3 defeats, 1 win. Only scored 3 goals in 4 games, conceded 7. They even lost to Bournemouth. I mean, if you can't beat Bournemouth, you got real problems. But they do have individual quality. That's the one thing that worries me a little bit with Aston Villa. We all know that, you know, Danny Ings, Watkins, Coutinho, Leon Bailey, these guys can cause problems. So we have still got to deal with them, but I think we're going to need to score early, and that will put them under real pressure. Steven Gerrard, I think, could be the next one out of the door with Scott Parker. Their next 2 games are Arsenal and Manchester City. 2 defeats there could be the end of Steven Gerrard, and that would be his Liverpool dream over, I would imagine. Everybody said if he does well at Villa 2 or 3 years, Klopp goes, he gets the Liverpool job. This would ruin everything. Bad Bob said Partey out for 5 weeks, El Neni out for a long term. Big up to you, bro. I mean, hold fire, hold fire. We will discuss that shortly, though, but I appreciate the super chat. So, Arsenal, in terms of team lineup, let's go through the team news, and we are going to discuss this. So, I'm going to bring up a predicted lineup, as we do, for the game tomorrow. So, I thought he was going to discuss it in the press conference, but for anybody that doesn't know, he did say today that Thomas Partey could be out for a few weeks, and it is a recurrence of the thigh injury problem. Is anybody surprised? Not really. But that is a big loss to Arsenal. And I've said before, and I've said again, we made a mistake by not signing Basuma this summer. Not Ben White. Basuma would have been an ideal solution to these problems. He plays the same sort of role. 25 million, it was an absolute no-brainer. And now we've got a problem. Now, there are rumours. Some people are saying 4 to 6 weeks, but then some people closer to Arsenal saying 2 to 3 weeks. Either way, it's bad. It's going to be bad. And Man United on the weekend, they've just strengthened, signed players. Partey's not going to be available. Chuckle Brothers against Manchester United with Casemiro in midfield. I'm sorry, people. It's not the answer. They need to sort this out quickly. And we are obviously going to speak about it on the basis of, who will we potentially go for. And obviously the news came out as well, people, that Mohamed El Neni is out injured as well. I mean, El Neni passed the ball backwards so many times. He's pulled his hamstring. And he could be out apparently for 4 to 6 weeks as well. Now, whether I rate him or not, El Neni, it is a loss. So we can't even play the Chuckle Brothers. We're that short right now. So we're actually going to be down to Sambi Lokonga and Granit Xhaka with no cover whatsoever. There's even talk possibly of Zinchenko playing in midfield. Zinchenko, they believe, should be available for the game against Aston Villa. Thomas Partey obviously looks like he's going to be out for longer. I've said it before, and this was before I even knew Thomas Partey was out for a while. If Arsenal don't sign a centre midfielder before Thursday's deadline closes, I think we have potentially, that for me, could potentially cost us getting Champions League football. Because you have to have a quality midfield nowadays. You just can't get away with it if you don't. It's the engine room of any team. And I'm sorry, you ain't getting top 4 with the Chuckle Brothers in midfield. Sambi Lokonga, no disrespect. Yeah, man's called him Bambi Lokonga at times, and that might be a bit disrespectful. And I think he will have a better season, but clearly he's not the answer. He's not the answer. And ain't it interesting, people, that Thomas Partey barely missed the game at Atletico Madrid. He can't get through 2 or 3 months at Arsenal without breaking down. What's the difference? You know, what's changed between Spain and England? The brother needs some proper. They need to get him some yam and dumpling, man. I don't know what that guy's diet is, but this noodle diet ain't doing nothing for him. Sidon's in the chat. Hey, and big up Broads as well. Look at all that green. Nothing but green ticks on the Arsenal form, people. Sidon is in the chat, and you thought our transfer window was going bad. Speak to Sidon about transfer windows. Fofana gone, and all they've signed is some goalkeeper we've never heard of. Arnold said Partey never had an injury before us. What's the problem? Why is he injured? The same injury again. That thigh injury. Recurring injuries are always a big worry. Big up Arnold. Rico said La Liga isn't as fast and physical. Yeah, maybe that's the point. And I think Atletico dominate a lot of games outside of Madrid and Real Madrid and Barcelona. So, yeah, maybe it's a lot more difficult. So how are we going to line up, basically, against Aston Villa tomorrow night? For me, see, the issue is here, and this is the discussion I want to have with you people in the comments, is could we even play Zinchenko in midfield? Would be the other potential thing that we could do. I don't think they will. Let's do it with the cam and the 2 in midfield, which would be more like that. I saw a predicted lineup. It was Sambi, Lokonga and Xhaka, Odegaard. The rest of the team was the same. That was the expected lineup in the newspaper. I think maybe Zinni and Xhaka would be maybe 2 alike. I think Ben White will keep his place at right back, which is huge credit to him, because I honestly thought once Tomiyasu was fit, he would be out of the team. For me, Zinni goes in at left back if he's not playing. What's going on here? If he's not playing, they're calling him Alexander Tizian. I don't know what's going on there, but it's his face anyway, so we can work with it. But what would you do in midfield, people? Let me know. Rennie said play Fabio Vieira. See, is Fabio Vieira really... Can he go into that pivot and play a little bit deeper? I think maybe he plays a little bit higher up the pitch, but it would be interesting if he went in there. People saying Ben White in DM. I think because he's playing so well at right back, I couldn't see him getting moved, but is he good enough on the ball? You got to remember, Villa have got a couple of good players in midfield. Douglas Luiz, John McGinn. Would you really want Ben White? Some people saying Zinni not playing. I thought he said he might be available. Have I misread that? Let's have a look. Zinchenko. What did he actually say about him specifically? Arsenal are waiting on scam results. Unclear at this. Zinchenko could be in contention. Was very close to making it against Fulham. Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. So it looks as if he's going to have a late fitness test. It just says he's in contention. Arteta said on Zinchenko in midfield, it's one of the options we can use in midfield. He's played there. It's great to have a player who is versatile. Who would you play in midfield? MJC said I would play Zinchenko in midfield alongside Xhaka. Not ideal long term, but for a few games it could work. Xhaka, Odegaard and Sambi. Put Tommy in CDM. I think that's a bit risky. Why are we talking about a doubtful player? No, it seems as if he could be available. Lamin said Tizian. Yeah, moving like Pro Evo, North London Red, bro. I don't know what's going on. It's all mad. Richard G said Partey is probably older than his birth certificate. Old body breaking down with the demands of the Premier League. I'm telling you, Simeone knew. He said, listen, I don't know how this guy's still performing in midfield for us. He's 48 years of age. He's got 3 grandkids and 7 kids. We'll get rid of him now. We'll just let him pay the release clause. I'm telling you, Partey, they need to check his passport. Something ain't right. How come this brother's injured all the time in England, man? He needs to stop living that Louis V life, man. He's all over the place, people. Thomas Partey, I'm telling you now, I love Thomas Partey as a player. I think he's one of our best players. Certainly our best midfielder. I think if you get to the end of this season and he is still injury prone, you've got to consider moving him on. I don't care how good he is. I don't care how good he is. As I always say, people, the best ability is availability. And if that brother is injured all the time, what's the point? The man's on 200 grand a week. He barely gets through 2 months without an injury. And I love Thomas Partey, so I don't like saying that. Yeah, but like Broad said, man's moving like Carnu, man. Man played under 21s like 15 years ago. I don't know what's going on. I think they will go with Xhaka and Sambi. Yeah, I think he'll go with this. Because they was bigging Sambi up the whole of pre-season. So I think they'll go with that. And I think the front three will be the same. It'll be interesting whether maybe Tierney plays at left back if Zinchenko isn't 100%, because you don't want to risk him if he's not 100. I think they'll go something like that. Possibly with Kieran Tierney at left back, if Zinchenko's maybe only 85, 90% fit. Listen, for me, Sambi Lokonga is sink or swim for him as well, in my opinion. Some people will say it's too early to say that. But I'm looking at it as you paid 17 million for him. You was linking this guy to Yaya Toure. He's the new Yaya Toure. I want to see performances. I don't think Sambi was at it last year. I think he was adjusting to the league. These are the games now. For me, if Zinchenko plays midfield ahead of Sambi, then that tells you that they don't trust Sambi Lokonga. So I think he needs to play. Again, for me, the midfield is a weakness. You take Thomas Partey out of the midfield, and whatever pivot you put in there, I think we look weak. Whether it's El Neni, whether it's Sambi, whether it's Xhaka, whoever it is, it's not the level that is going to get you Champions League, in my opinion. Gunnar Gregg said, party by day, party by night. Hey, you ain't lying, bro. I'm telling you. I don't know. He must be living that big drip life in England. You know, I see him in Louis Vuitton jackets, driving Lamborghinis. I don't know. Maybe football ain't his main focus anymore, but it ain't working. That's for sure. Rowan said, the new Yaya Toure, that's way too much. He looked more like Kolo Toure on the ball than Yaya. I'm telling you that. Prem is too fast. Let's give him another season and we'll see, Daryl. Last year he didn't look fully at it. Transfer window fixes that, yeah. I just hope, the ideal situation right now, people, for Arsenal, you beat Aston Villa tomorrow night. You go in on Thursday, you get 2 players in, and you go to Manchester United on the weekend. Now, the news is, for anybody just tuning in, 2,800 of you, absolutely amazing support already, people. 45 of you on Twitch as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thomas Partey will not be playing against Manchester United on Sunday. That is the breaking news. He is out for at least 2 weeks. Some people even saying 4 to 6 weeks. But a lot of the stories saying 2 or 3 weeks. We do have an international break at the end of September. I think at the moment what they're saying is that he won't be available now until after the international break. Big loss for Arsenal. Mohamed El Neni is now having a scan. Apparently he pulled his hamstring in the game against Fulham. As I said earlier, I think he played the ball backwards so much his hamstring fell out. So he could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. 2 centre midfielders in a position that we were already not good enough, let's be honest, and we were already short. We only now have Sambi Lokonga and Granit Xhaka as natural centre mids, really. We know that Zinchenko can go there, and we know possibly that Fabio Vieira maybe can play there, although I think he's a little bit more of an attacking midfielder. That's how I think we'll line up. Possibly, I think he might play Tierney at left back if Zinchenko is not 100% and then save him for the Manchester United game. Someone was just asking the website. It's called createformation.com if anybody wants to ever use this. Ainsley looks as if he's on his way out, people, so I don't think he will be playing, if I'm being honest. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, these injury crises, they remind me of Arsene Wenger days, where we'd be getting players injured just out of the blue for no reason. You could never understand it. But, Wilshere and Welbeck and Rosicky, all these injury-prone players. But let's talk about transfers, right? This is what we need. We all need to see that excitement of transfers. Now, it looks as if we're being linked with players, and we're going to discuss them. They're not necessarily the ones that I would be going for, but we are looking at players, people. So let's talk about them. It looks as if Arsenal are going for a Brazilian midfielder called Danilo. Now, we were linked with this guy in January. He plays for Palmeiras, and it's believed that Arsenal have made a move for him. Arsenal of this morning, in fact, let me share the screen. Let me share the screen with you people. Anybody that knows much about him, let me know. Listen, I am not going to cap, right? I'm not going to start capping. Arsenal have this morning inquired again for Danilo from Palmeiras. The signing could speed up due to El Nene's injury. Now, anybody that watches a lot of Brazilian football, if you want to let us know, if you know much about him, feel free to let us know. How good is he? I mean, I'm just looking at his stats here, Danilo. I remember looking into him a little bit when we were linked with him in January, and I don't know too much about him. He's 5'10", 21 years of age. He's a midfielder, defensive midfielder, and yeah, doesn't tell you much more about him, to be honest. Let's try and see if we can see some of his stats. He's 21 years of age, plays for Palmeiras. He's not a full Brazilian international as of yet. 20 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, so doesn't get forward that much. 16 games in defensive midfield. He's very strong, not the best in the year, according to reports. So very little about him, you know. And again, apparently, the man said Danilo who? I mean, is this the right kind of player to be going for? Benjamin said Danilo is a good shout, to be honest, if we can get him, Yuri, and the winger. Listen, bro, I don't see us buying 2 centre midfielders. I think if we buy him, it will be him, not Yuri Tielemans. What I think the problem is, and what I've read, and this makes sense in my opinion, not that a lot of what Arsenal does make sense, but I think why they're not going for Yuri Tielemans is I think they want a replacement or a backup for Thomas Partey, rather than a creative player that can play next to Partey, which is what many of us want. So once again, let's be totally honest. Let's say it for how it is, people. Arsenal, in my opinion, do not want to replace Granit Xhaka. Yeah, Edu said it 12 months ago, and I don't think they want to do it now either. They love the guy. For whatever reason, they don't want to bring in a player that pushes him down the pecking order. I think they want to bring in a player that can cover when Partey is out, which is risky. And you have to say to yourself, why would you sign somebody like this when, as we said before, you could have signed Basuma, you could have signed players that were probably better than this guy. So it's very difficult to work these things out with Arsenal. Sarvesh said Danilo is the best DM in Brazilian football. Broad said Xhaka is getting a testimonial and a heartfelt goodbye. He will. He'll get his testimonial. Granit Xhaka's here. He said, this is true, Curtis. I can confirm. Arteta likes my hairstyle. He loves the guy. Absolutely loves him. And just doesn't seem to want to replace him, people. And it is interesting. I'm just trying to see what kind of transfer fee they're talking about here. Palmeiras, the club are asking for £21 million. It is belief. Arsenal have once again inquired about Palmeiras midfielder Danilo, and they want £21 million for him. I mean, 25 million for Basuma. Maybe they weren't. The crazy thing with Arsenal is if El Neni didn't pull his hamstring, they probably wouldn't have signed anyone, which is crazy. You know, they were genuinely gonna go with Xhaka and El Neni. I don't get it. It's crazy. And these kind of signings, listen, sometimes I don't mind these kind of signings sometimes, because every now and then you pull out a Gilberto Silva, a Brazilian that's kind of unknown, and you find someone that's a top player. But on the flip side, every now and then you sign a Brazilian Danilson who we had centre midfield, and that's the worry. And I feel like the position we're in now, the start we've made to the season, the last thing that I would do if I was Arsenal now is sign a player when you feel very unsure about how he's going to, adjust to the Premier League. I don't think Arsenal should be signing players that might take a season to adjust. But listen, a lot of you are bigging him up in the comments. Those of you who do watch Brazilian football. Benjamin said, on God, Danilo is a great player, young too. Godnat said, I'd prefer we don't sign, panic and restrict our transfer budget going forward. Tielemans and Modric, we're going to speak about him. I wish it was Luka Modric, but maybe not. Danilo this season, 40 games, 7 goals, 1 assist, 83% passing accuracy, 62% long ball, 246 ball recoveries, 79 tackles, can play as a 6 and an 8. Appreciate that, King Henry, with the update. Edu would have tried for a winger, but now we have to sign a midfielder. 3.5K in the chat. Absolutely unbelievable numbers. Really appreciate you tuning in. Let's hit 1,500 likes today, people. That should be light work. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The numbers, the support, all I can say, big up. Legendary community. Big up to each and every one of you. Don't forget, voting in the description below. Football Content Awards. Best Premier League club content creator. Best in video and best content creator. Danilo, £21 million. I'm just trying to see a little bit about his game here. Doesn't say too much. He's probably relatively unknown in Europe, really. Like when you type in Danilo, it comes up with Danilo Pereira, to be honest. Very good at interceptions and tackles. 5'10". Not yet a Brazilian international. There's not a lot even to see about him. You're probably going to have to get on YouTube to try and find out a bit about him, Amino, we don't forget the Twitch gang. Twitch, YouTube, C-Unit business people. His best position is on the bench. And MD said, Curtis Shaw TV better than any Arsenal channel. Listen, I don't mind. I'll go along with that. Looks like a beast on the YouTube compilation. So it looks as if Arsenal have inquired about him and Palmeiras have named a price. It's whether now we pay what they want for him. It's an interesting one for me, that one. If we get that deal done, it doesn't fill me with excitement because I don't like the fact that it wasn't pre-planned. It sounds as if, El Nenny's injured, Partey's injured. Who can we sign? Go. Edu, you got any Brazilians that we can sign? Oh yeah, I've still got that Danilo from January. Shall I go for it? All right, go for it. I don't like that. I like it where you've planned it, you wanted him, and you've gone for him, and that's the man you want. So I don't know. I don't know how it. Listen, I haven't seen much of him, so he could be a really good young Brazilian prospect. They've produced some good DMs over the last few years. Casemiro, Fabinho, Fernandinho a little bit older. It just screams out panic buy. I'm sorry, it does. It screams out panic buy to me. We do need to act, but I always say be proactive rather than reactive, for all the criticism of Manchester United and things like that. They clearly wanted Anthony or whatever, and they got him. They paid ridiculous money for him, but they wanted him and they got him. So, anyway, let me know what you think. Big up my brother Fran in the chat. He said we are scrambling already. The funny thing is, Fran, we've made such a good start to the season. You're thinking to yourself, please, Edu, Arteta, Josh Kroenke, build on it. Do you know how positive it would be right now if we beat Villa, signed Tielemans, signed Neto, went to Man United, beat them? We'd be absolutely flying high. It only takes a panic buy signing on Thursday or signing no one, going to Old Trafford, getting beaten, and all of a sudden Monday morning, we're questioning what the club have done in the last few days. We haven't signed a player since we were on tour in America. I just think they've taken too long here. It was clear we needed a midfielder. And for some reason, I feel like Edu and Arteta have sat on their hands and backed the wrong horses here. Taron said, El Nenny faking an injury to force them to buy. He's doing a solid. Big up Mo El Neni, man. Pulled his hamstring on purpose to get a new signing in. Even he'd had enough of the midfielders. Man said, listen, man, we can't do this chuckle vision no more. You know, I'm passing backwards. He was probably facing forwards, passed backwards, mashed up the hamstring. So, yeah, fair play to El Neni faking an injury, man. It's necessary. But yeah, panic buy settings, man. It's making me not look forward to the transfer window. But anyway, let's see. There were stories going around today, people. Yuri Tielemans. I mean, I genuinely can't wait till Thursday when I don't have to speak about this guy anymore. The only way I want to speak about this guy is if he's holding up an Arsenal shirt. Otherwise, I don't want to see his greasy hair ever again. Little Prince lookalike. Rumours that Arsenal are going to make a move for Yuri Tielemans. Now, I think a lot of newspaper reports are just putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5. El Neni's injured. Oh, they're going to sign Tielemans. There doesn't seem to be anything certain. Daily Mail saying that Yuri Tielemans is waiting for the transfer on deadline day. I mean, I don't know. He sold his house and apparently is living in a hotel at the moment. Is that because he's buying a new house in Leicester? Or is that because he sees himself leaving the club on deadline day? I do not know. As I said, Daily Mail are saying that they expect Arsenal to make a move for him on Thursday with El Neni and Partey's injury. I'm not sure. You know, if we are, why didn't we sign him 6 weeks ago? But Arsenal are panicking and looks as if they're scrambling around the market, which is not the way to do it. Big up Harley Robinson. Thank you very much for becoming a member. We will do a member stream this week. We'll try and maybe do one on Friday. If not Saturday, just because of the transfer window. Really busy at the moment. Got a video with Ben Jacobs tomorrow, transfer video. Look out for that. He's a Leicester fan, so he may have some info surrounding Yuri Tielemans. Obviously, we've got the Aston Villa watch along tomorrow night as well. And then we've got 3 streams on deadline day. Kevin Campbell coming on one of them as well. So make sure you tune in for that. And I'm telling you, if we don't sign no one, I'm going crazy. I can't lie. Fran said Yuri is going to sit that deal out. It's not looking good. It isn't. Zizzy said, bros in the closet, Airbnb to London Colney. I'm telling you, the brother's desperate for a move. He might do an Odin Wenger, man, and just pull up at the training ground in the Range Rover and say, just sign me, please. I've had enough. I don't want to be at Leicester no more. What more does he have to do? He sold his house. He had a stinker against Arsenal. He's desperate. Just sign him, man. But, hey, Arsenal probably go and sign someone else. So, man said Yuri living in a caravan. I mean, Michael, that's world class. It's, you know, Broads would be proud of that one. I can't lie. So, we move. Daily Yuri is nearly over. Will he finish an Arsenal player by Thursday at 11 o'clock? Not looking good at the moment. Again, let's move on. Another player we are being linked with. For me, another underwhelming one, in my opinion. Apparently, Tim Vickery has spoken about Danilo. I will have a listen with that. We are being linked, of course. We spoke about this guy yesterday. Mikhailo Modric. No, not Luka Modric. Mikhailo Modric, a player that I'd barely heard of 48 hours ago. Looks like a Ukrainian Jack Grealish with the headband. I did what every Arsenal fan probably had to do yesterday. That was type his name in, type in compilation, and look at him. He looked quick, he looked silky, but for me, again, not the answer. I got to be honest. And I don't want to write off any player before they join the club. Cool, if we sign him, he's going to get my full support. And you know what? He might end up being a little world beater for us, Ukrainian international. But massively inexperienced. When you look at the amount of games that he's played, I don't think he's even played 50 times in his career for Shakhtar. Ukraine, two caps for Ukraine. 21 years of age. Does not hype me one bit. All I like is the pace. He's probably 95 pace on FIFA, but apart from that, I don't know. I don't know, people. People need to tell me. He liked a post on Instagram that was saying Arsenal are pushing to sign him today. I mean, that's all I've got for you, people. Anybody that's watched him, let me know. Man said it's Luka Modric from which? Man said, yeah, get me Luka Modric. Said, yeah, I've got you Mikhailo Modric. How's that? Not quite the same thing, is it? But The Ukrainian Iwobi, they say. Lewis said, Arsenal and Shakhtar Donetsk started almost 10 million apart in valuation during negotiations for Mikhailo Modric. Shakhtar ideally want 25 million, with a deal being very possible. Of course it's very possible, because it's a young player that's hardly played, and they're going to be willing to cash in. You know, simple as that. They're not going to mind. Yeah, Sarvesh, listen. And listen, I'm not doing the Ramsdale thing or the Ben White thing where I was like, no, I've watched him, I don't want him. When I haven't watched you play, I have to be a little bit more careful, because you could end up becoming a world beater. So, yeah, I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying, I feel like there are bigger, more established players that we could sign for similar price tags that will be much easier to settle into the club. If we go and sign Modric for 25 and Danilo for 25 and drop 50 million, you could probably have spent 60 million and got maybe Tielemans and Zaha, you know? So I just don't know if those two options are better. But I think Arteta just loves signing these young players who he can develop. So we'll have to see. But I'm not writing him off. Broad said, breaking news, hashtag have signed Greg Helford. I wouldn't mind a move to hashtag. I'll come out of retirement for the wages that they pay. I can't lie. Danny said, get Zaha the driller. I think Arteta's scared of Zaha, that kind of personality. Listen, you know me, I want Zaha at Arsenal, but I'm just not sure the manager is cut out to manage a player like that. Tielemans is a deep-lying playmaker, not a defensive midfielder. With the new injuries, we need a different profile. I hear you. I would still rather sign Tielemans than maybe this Danilo, but he might come in and prove us wrong. The little Luka Modric, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Clip that and send that to Spencer. Come on, man. I'm ready, people. Tell him to get the bag out. I'll start getting fit. False manager said Curtis, got 2 goals in 3 years. First was a goalkeeping mistake. The other a tapping. Avoid the Ukrainian Willian. I mean, false manager not filling me with hope and optimism there. After that, DJ Ashley's hardly scored and lacks a lot of experience. I can't see him being put into the first team. I'm sorry, but for me, that signing isn't the one. And again, I'm not writing him off. He could come in and be a very talented footballer, but the profile, the age, he looks quite lightweight, looks very quick, but that for me is not the answer. It's just not. I'm sorry. I think Arsenal need somebody to come in who hits the ground running from day one, you know, and lifts the level. Does this lad come in and really take us to the next level? Listen, like I said, I'm not writing him off before we sign him, but an unknown winger from Ukraine. You know, Ben Jacobs is putting up highlights of him on his Twitter account where he's playing on a pitch with a car park in the background. I mean, I'm going to have to show you this. I got to be careful because I don't want to get done for copyright here, but it might be all right because it's on. I mean, look at this. He's put up this. Modric is of appeal to Arsenal because they believe he can operate off both the left and right wing. He's technically gifted, specialises in assists. Oh, he passed the penalty. And, I mean, I'm not being funny, mate. I'm playing in bigger stadiums than that. In charity games. I mean, there ain't 50,000 fans in the background. It's a car park. So we're signing players that are playing in car parks. I mean, no, I got to be careful here just in case this guy comes in and he's like the new Eden Hazard and I've been destroying him. But my brother, we're trying to make Champions League here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know what you're all thinking. Don't do this. Don't write him off yet, right? I just watched Tottenham sign Richarlison as their winger option. I just watched Chelsea sign Raheem Sterling as their winger. I just watched... Who else has signed wingers? I'm thinking now. Who else has signed wingers? Chelsea, Tottenham. Man United have just signed Anthony for 100 million. And we're signing, you know what I mean, a ticket inspector. Man's doing a passed penalty in a car park in the Peugeot Cuppers, man. Ah, dude, please, someone give me some inspiration, man. I've got nothing against him. If he comes in, do your thing, young buck. But boy, 25 M's and the highlights man's putting up are in a car park. I'm going to have to speak to Ben Jacobs tomorrow, man, and say, my brother, we're trying to get hyped about this signing and you're putting up highlights of him in an Asda car park doing a no-look penalty pass. That don't really hype me up too much, man. Jeez. LT Gaming, come on, lift our spirits, man, please. He said, to be fair, Real Madrid applauded him when he faced them. Okay, fair enough. That helps. But I still need more than that, you know. Man's putting up highlights in the car park. That don't work for me. I need to see more than that. You know, doing no-look passes in an Asda car park, man. I need something else. But listen, if he becomes world-class, we look back on this stream and we laugh about it. But right now, I'm with Darren. You get 2 hours free parking if you purchase one item from this Asda store, people. Otherwise, take your receipt to the desk and they will stamp it to avoid you getting a ticket. That is Modric. Luka Modric. Mikhailo Modric. We're in the Modric. We're in the Modric right now, people. Listen, I'm sorry, but you know what it is with me, people? I'm sick of us always... I want some big names. Do you know what I mean? I want some big names. Sometimes you need a new pair of trainers. You want them to be Nike. You want them to be Yeezys. I'm not somebody that believes in brands too much, but do you know what I mean? If it was your birthday and you was a kid and you were like, listen, man, I want them new Nike Air Maxes with the air bubble around the side, yeah? And your mum came in with some no-name trainer that you said, oh, these are going to blow up in 5 years. That can't run at school. Nobody don't care about that. I need to turn up with my big Nike tick on the side. I don't want us to sign Modric. You know, sign Modric. You know, sign Neto, sign Zaha, sign Tielemans. I want name brand. This feels like, you know, quick save, plain beans with no make. Nah, man, I'm sorry, man. Modric, we're in the Modric. We are in the Modric right now. That ain't worth Edu having a barbecue with a cigar in his mouth for Modric. I can't celebrate that. What am I going to say to people? Yeah, we signed Modric. Okay, well, who's he? You know? Nah, man. I need name brand. I need proper things, people. Yeah? I need proper things. I need the brand. Yeah, clip it. I hope we're looking back at this in 2 years and we're talking about Modric is a world-class winger. He's the new Eden Hazard of Chelsea or the new Alexis. But right now, you know, people, school days, man, there were two people in school. There were those with 3 stripes and there were those with 2 stripes, right? Adidas or Tesco 2 stripes. And I'm sorry, you wanted 3 stripes on your sleeve, people. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. Modric, I can't even say his name. I'm calling him Modric. It's Modric. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Right now, he's looking like 2 stripes to me. I'm sorry. I hate to do this. And some of you probably clipping me and saying, no, but he's looking like 2 stripes, man. He's looking like Asics or Dunlop or... It ain't working for me right now. It ain't, man. It's looking like TK Maxx sale rack. You put this in the wash, man. The button's coming off. It's shrinking. The thread's pulling off. It's all mad, people. But yeah, Modric. I mean, I can't even say his name. We're all over the place. But anyway, we move. If it goes wrong and he turns into a beast, then yeah, man, I'm happy with it. But nah, man. Danilo and Modric ain't working for me. I'm sorry. Arsenal, you're in the Modric. You know what I mean? Just buy Tielemans. The man sold his house. He's homeless. What does the man have to do to force his move? You know, Tielemans was basically twerking for Arsenal, putting up posts saying how much he loves Arsenal, and you still never sign the man. Tielemans sold his damn house. He got no house. He's living in a hotel. And these men still don't want to sign him. But hey, Modric, I mean, I might have to go back on YouTube and look at more clips. But Ben Jacobs is putting up clips of him in a car park. So I'm going to have to speak about it tomorrow. It's all mad, people. We got a bit of breaking news, apparently. Sky Sports. Breaking news, people. This is from 3 minutes ago. So... we might be out of the Modric. We might be out of the Modric, people. I'm telling you, we could be out of that mess. According to Melissa Reddy on Sky, Arsenal are exploring the possibility of signing Cody Gakpo from PSV. This is 3 minutes ago. And breaking news. It's funny, yesterday I was saying, Gakpo, I'm not sure. Watched him against Rangers, didn't look great. Right now, man, yo. That Gakpo, mate, I've always rated him. He's like a young Mark Overmars. Now, listen, there is a little bit of humour involved here, people. Don't get carried away. Some people will message me and go, oh, you haven't watched Modric. You're a disgrace. Wait till he turns out great. And a bit of sense of humour. Just relax. We don't know much about him. Apparently, Southampton had a £28 million offer turned down for him. 20 million plus 7 million in add-ons. Arsenal are, the only thing I need to say, the only thing that I'm not interested in this whole thing. Exploring. What's this Dora the Explorer? Like, what are we doing? What do you need to explore about it? Like, the deadline shuts in 48 hours. I'm sure you've scouted him about 10 times. What are you exploring? Make the offer, or... Like Dre just said, we're on the verge of being on the verge. I don't get it. Gakpo's not that great. I got to be honest, people. I'm not convinced by Gakpo either. I'm not convinced. We'll probably offer 20 million and £1 for him. But hey, it is what it is. Arsenal, linked with everyone, sign no one. That was last summer when I kept saying that. This year, we started the season so well. I thought, you know what? We've changed, man. We're not that Arsenal no more. We got Jesus. We got Zinchenko. We got this Vieira. We got a young Brazilian, Donny, Marquinhos, Matt Turner. They're hyping him in America, even though I'm not sure about him. This window's going to be mad. We've made offers for Rafinha. We're going mad this year. And then now, it just feels like I'm back to Arsene Wenger 2016, and we're just... I don't know. And I got to be honest, Melissa Reddy, you're doing your thing on Sky. I respect it. You're working, but you are not a tier 1 journalist when it comes to transfer news. I can't lie, people. She said a few wild things in the past. She's on Sky right now as we speak, sitting next to Darmesh and Carve. So I can't get too carried away with anything she says. It's probably a throwaway line to create a little bit of hype. Man are calling him Cody Wakpo. It's all mad, people. Lawrence said, Modric is clear of Gakpo. I don't even know. I don't know. And Dynamite says Gakpo, no, Modric is the one. A lot of you like him, but, the highlights that have just been thrown up, don't fill me with any hype. Let's move on. Dora FC. We're exploring all the possibilities, people. But we we probably won't find anything. We're searching for gold, but probably won't get anything. So hey, it is what it is. Arsenal being linked with some crazy names that I can't even say. I've got to be honest. Arsenal have been linked with a move for Wilfried Zaha on deadline day, with Wolves reluctant to sell top target Pedro Neto. Just do it, people. Join me on my school of thought here. I know some of you were like, Zaha 29. Listen, Wilfried Zaha or Luka Modric from Wish. I know which one. Hey, let's do it. I reckon he faked an injury at the weekend. He knew transfer window closes Thursday. Got himself out of that Man City game. He's waiting for the move, people. He is waiting for the move. Buy him. He's a gooner. Just ring Vieira. Vieira will let it happen. 30 to 35 million. Left wing, right wing. What more do you need? Wilfried Zaha FC, man. I'm telling you, he's waiting. But they probably won't do it. They probably just won't do it. Apparently, Palace want 35 to 40 million. They don't want to risk him going next summer on a free. It's got to be Zaha ahead of man like Modric. Or I can't even say the guy's name. But yeah, if Neto ain't happening, and I'm a big fan of Neto, I would have took him. Just get Wilf to the carpet, man, please. Because Chelsea are probably going to buy him if they can't get Aubameyang. I just don't. Sometimes I don't get Arsenal. I know this ain't Football Manager and it doesn't work the way it looks sometimes. But Surely you can get better than these man we're being linked with, man. I'm sorry. I'm not writing them off before they've turned up, but apparently I missed a super chat. True Gunners TV, apologies. Bro, I did not see it, and I still can't see it. I'm moving like Arsene Wenger. I did not see it. E. Ross said, wow. Oh, I missed a few. E. Ross said, wow, Tesco 2-strike. Ah, dear me. It's all mad, people. You missed my previous super chat. Modric is the B-Tech Arshavin. I missed quite a few. Football Capo, apologies, bro. I've missed a few here. I don't know what's going off. True Gunners TV, I can't even get your super chat on the screen. Massive apologies. I can see it, though. He said, typical Arsenal, looked like we were proactive when we got Jesus, Zinchenko. We were always a couple of injuries away from crisis in midfield. Now it's panic stations once again. It's typical Arsenal, bro. It's typical. Just when you think everything's rosy in the garden. Oh, there we go. I found it. Just when you think everything's rosy in the garden, you know, next door's dog jumps over the fence. And ruins your garden, you know. And that's what's going on now, people. We always knew that 2-2 injuries and Arsenal were in big trouble. And it's already starting to happen. I don't rate El Neni, but El Neni out for 4 to 6 weeks. There's one. Thomas Partey. Some reports saying 2 weeks. Some reports saying 4 to 6 weeks. He's going to miss the Manchester United game. It's a massive blow. That's leaving us with Granit Xhaka and Sambi Lokonga. Granit, he's playing well, but clearly he can be upgraded. And Sambi at the moment has not proved himself. So, what? Like, are you going to win big games with that? I'm telling you now, Gabriel Jesus gets injured for a decent amount of time this season. Our season's going to go down the sinkhole. You know, like when you pull the plug out the bath and that last bit, it starts swirling down. That will be Arsenal swirling around the plug hole because you ain't getting top 4 with Xhaka and Sambi Lokonga in midfield and Eddie and Nketiah up front. I'm sorry, you're just not. These men better understand what is going off. They got 48 hours to, in my opinion, dictate how our season goes. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's definitely interesting. Other clubs are throwing money all over the place now. We seem to be sitting on our hands. Oh, Melissa Reddy, she did say it. Yeah, it is there. If you go on Melissa Reddy's... Right, let me see what she said. Let me get the quotes up. I'll share these with you people. Are these just throwaway comments or not? Let's have a look. Let me get these on screen. I think they're throwaway comments. I can't lie. Melissa Reddy talking about Gakpo. It's funny. This guy was being linked with like Arsenal, Man U. All of a sudden, you got Southampton making offers for him. It's all mad. Melissa Reddy on Gakpo. It's not surprising that a lot of Premier League clubs are looking at him. One of the other names I was told to keep an eye out for is Arsenal, who have said they would like to enhance their offensive options. It's an absolute nothing comment. I mean, there's nothing. There's no depth to that comment whatsoever. Unfortunately, anybody could say that. Carve, they're all kind of similar. They throw out all kinds of nonsense to keep, clickbait. Listen, he could be on our list. We have been linked with him a number of times. But I can't get excited about her saying that. So right now, we're a little bit in the Modric, people. That is for sure. Danilo and Modric are the ones that we're being linked with. And not a lot else. In my opinion, we got 48 hours to save this season. Because that squad that we've got is not getting top 4, in my opinion. The team is very good at the moment. But there's no way that all of these big players will survive the season without getting injured. We've already lost Thomas Partey. And we're, 4 games into the season. They're saying he could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. And you've also obviously got... do you know what? I'm gonna put a bit of this Modric clip up, I think. I've just seen a clip. Let me share this. I'm just going to risk it. Why not? Why not, people? Let's have a look. Oh, he stopped playing. Oh, he stopped playing. I was going to go for it. Listen, go and have a look at him anyway. But let's get into some of your comments. Forget about all that. They're hyping us, linking us with players. Football Capo, Zaha and Tielemans, bro, get it done. They want 35 to 40 for Zaha. You get him for 35. You get Tielemans for 30. 65 mil. There's your centre mid. There's your winger. And we get top 4. But you're going to buy Danilo and Modric for 50 million. I can't even say the brother's name. And we don't know what the hell is going to go off. You know, maybe one of them will be a hit. Zaha and Tielemans, and I would be spinning around like Robbie at the Emirates. I'm telling you now, people. Give me Zaha and Danilo. Maybe even take that, because I'm not massively a big fan of Tielemans. But right now, he's better than what we're doing. 3K in the chat, like it. When you uploading the highlights video. Yeah, I'm going to do that today. Big up Gunnar Farbs, man. I've got a watch-along highlights video that he edited for me. I'm going to put it out later this evening, so let me know what you think. Keep an eye out for that and see if it's something you would like to see moving forward. Obviously, not everyone can watch the watch-alongs. They're on for 3 hours. A little 8-minute highlights video of the watch-alongs. I'm going to put one out tonight, see if you like it, and then we'll see if we want to continue with it. Saltman said, big up, Big C, I'm late to the stream. What's happened with Partey? The thigh injury is a repeat of the one he had before. Could be out for a month, so that's not looking good. Indeed, he should be our long-term Partey replacement. Yeah, do you know, with Ndidi, I don't think he's that good on the ball. He is good at winning the ball back. I think Basuma's better than him, got to be honest. And I think he would cost more than Basuma, which still doesn't make sense. Alexander said, Big C, Milinkovic, Savic and Zaha would be mad. That would be unbelievable. Tielemans and Neto would be good. Centre mid loan and Nelson is the reality. That's probably what we'll do. We'll probably sign this Danilo on loan with an option to buy, and Nelson. Oh, Reece Nelson's back from injury in 2 weeks. We'll stick with him. Nah, man, we don't want nothing to do with that. Car park Cristiano looks lethal. Maybe he'll play in the car park, you know. South London's finally said, I'm getting quite sick of Partey. He needs replacing now. Since he's been here, he's only played 58% of the games. It's not good enough. Honestly, it's not good. If he has another injury hit season, I would be open to offers for him. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people won't agree with that. He's on 200 grand a week. And right now, what is he doing? He has a couple good games. He's injured. You know, it's not good enough. He's got to play more. I don't know if he can handle the Premier League. I want to know how old he is. I think he's 57 years of age with 6 kids, 4 grandkids. I don't believe him. Ash said, we need ideally Premiership-proven players to come in and get the ball rolling straight away. Look at Jesus and Zinchenko. And that's a great point that you make there, right? And I don't always necessarily believe you have to sign Prem players. But you're now signing players at a time when pre-season's done. You know, they can't come into the group and acclimatise and get used to it. You're bringing them in and saying, right, you're playing next week. Are you ready for it? They're not going to be, you know. Signing a player from Ukraine, a player from Brazil, it's going to take them time. Maybe they don't speak English. It's going to be difficult for them to adjust. If you sign a Zaha, he's straight in. You sign a Tielemans, straight in. Somebody just said Partey's unsellable. He could be. He could be. What is he now? 28, 29, Thomas Partey? How old is Thomas Partey now? Thomas Partey, well, what they say, he's 29, turns 30 in June, 200 grand a week. All the best selling him, mate. Injury prone as well. He'll see out his contract. Broad said, getting Modric is like when I used to blow 50,000 on FIFA on gold packs and get nothing for it. Them common golds, man, that you get about 300 coins for. It ain't working. King Henry said he's 29/49. Yeah, I want to see proof. But he's not the guy right now, man. But football age 29, Ghana age 39. Wasim said Leicester play United on deadline day. It'll be interesting to see if Tielemans is in the squad. That's a great point. That is a great point. Obviously, the window closes after... on Thursday. Yeah, United play on Thursday, so we'll have to see. Willian signed for Fulham. All the best, Fulham, mate. You're going to need it. Loz Incredible, thank you for the super chat. He said, I hate to do this. I'm starting to question Partey's toughness. Some people can play through injuries. He seems to feel slight pain and he misses it. it's difficult because they're muscular injuries. And it's very difficult to kind of play through them. Impact injuries are harder, easier, to play through. But he's pulling muscles, man. Nah, somebody said he's got arthritis. I'm done. I feel to just end the stream. Man said he's got arthritis. Man's an old man, fam. Nah, Michael, you need to relax. Man said he's got arthritis to Ross. Zach said ultimate pack with no walkout. I'm telling you, man. Who's that? Modric? What? Oh, I've never heard of him. 78 rated, common gold. I'm vexed. Let's get Pulisic from Chelsea. They wouldn't do us a favour. They wouldn't let him come to us, I don't think. He'd be decent. Tielemans can play against United twice in 4 days. Let's hope so. Partey needs that cod liver oil. Yeah, man, he needs something, people. He really does. But I'm out of here for today, people. We're just hitting the hour mark. Really appreciate you tuning in. It's been fantastic. And some good banter as well. The signings we're being linked with, man. You know, we're hoping for big signings. Danilo from Brazil, who we've hardly seen. And Modric from Arteta, who I thought it was Luka Modric, but it's Modric off Wish. So nice and easy. Tomorrow, make sure you tune in. I'm doing the video with Ben Jacobs in the afternoon, but it's going to be pre-recorded. If there's any questions you want me to ask him or any players, maybe throw them in the comments after this video and I'll ask them, try and read some of them out. I will put that out tomorrow, and then it will be the watch-along business tomorrow night. We'll focus on the game and then transfers after. Personally, just before we get out of here, I'm going for a 3-1 win against Aston Villa. I do think we'll beat them, although I am a little bit worried about that midfield that plays tomorrow. That is for sure. It's not even the Chuckle Brothers. We're going even lower than that, people. So anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate all of your time and effort. Like the video on the way out and subscribe. Big day tomorrow, people. Arsenal against Villa. Take care, everyone. Bless.